But Jimmy is one of the nicest human beings on this planet. Truly, I mean that. Because I just experienced one of the most notorious boys clubs ever in late night television. Your girl is getting her own NBC late night show! Words cannot explain to you how spiritually challenging that was.
How does Singh talk about herself and her talk show in her interview with Fallon? How do her statements compare to her TED Talk after her talk show had been cancelled? Did Singh have the right attitude going into the job as host? What does her word choice tell us about her personality? Welcome to the channel where we look at what influential people say, what they really say. Like and subscribe for more videos. Welcome aboard. Make sure you watch until the end because things are about to get exciting. Let's get this show on the road.
Well, yeah, I do have a big announcement. I mean, I've done a lot of exciting things this year. You know, I've started my own production company called Uniqueness Productions.
Yeah.
And so I'm really into just creating dope things.
I'm curious, what are these dope things?
You don't have to remember to go out and get anyone flowers. You just have to remember to go out and fight for equal pay for women in the workplace. Yeah. I think it's by the checkout at CVS. Now, I know there are guys out there thinking, oh, International Women's Day? Why don't we have an International Men's Day? God bless you, Twitter. Well, you're in luck, because you do. It's actually on November 19th. But you wouldn't know that because you're too busy celebrating it every other day of the year.
I just needed a reminder, that's all. Let's keep going.
So I did want to announce something on this show, but before I do, I want to say I could not be more thrilled to do it on this show. And I really do mean this, Jimmy, because I know you all watch him and he's so funny, but Jimmy is one of the nicest human beings on this planet. Truly, I mean that. I really, really mean that. From the very first time I came on this show, from the very first time I came till right now, you've been such a supporter and such a champion. So I want to say thank you to you for letting me announce it on this show, and I'm forever grateful.
Singh uses qualifiers to make people believe her alleged appreciation.
And I really do mean this, Jimmy, because truly I mean that. I really, really mean that.
That must mean she really means it, right? Not necessarily. In fact, it points to the opposite. This amount of qualifiers shows that the speaker is very much self-aware. When there's someone the speaker has an interest in trying to convince, in this case the audience and of course Fallon. In daily conversations, most of us would be skeptical of too many qualifiers. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but you're so good at what you do.
Thanks, boss.
I truly mean that. You're very good.
Thanks. I'm glad to hear it.
I really, really mean that.
Thanks.
I mean, what else could I mean, right? Really, you're the best. So you don't mind working overtime again today, do you? I know you. You always act in the best interests of the company. So you don't mind, right?
I suppose I...
Thanks, man. You're the best. Really. The thing that gives weight to the skepticism is how Singh addressed other talk show hosts in her TED Talk after her own show had failed, with Fallon being one of the hosts she referred to in a negative way.
Now, we witnessed one of the greatest protests in human history with the farmer protest in India. And I was excited to finally give my take on these things. But my take was almost never included in topical media news coverage roundups. You know, we still got the same voices, the same perspectives, even though someone and something different was literally in the next time slot.
The same voices, the same perspectives, she says, in a demeaning tone. Strange way to talk about one of the nicest people on this planet. It's almost as if Singh's praise didn't mean anything, as foreshadowed by the qualifiers. One of the many problems associated with Singh's mindset is its inherent self-aggrandizing nature. She's comparing herself to hosts, most of whom started out with nothing and managed to make a name for themselves over time. But Singh doesn't have time. She wants everything without earning it first, and earning it takes years. and it takes an audience that'll actually watch a show. This speaks to Singh's entitlement. Also, it's strange how all the men who failed at becoming talk show hosts don't get an honorable mention in Singh's convenient narrative. And the biggest irony of all, Singh claiming to be shut out of influence, even though she got the chance to actually announce a show in one of these same perspectives talk shows she complains about. Few people get that chance, but then again, gratitude doesn't seem to be Singh's strong suit.
But every time I would be told that I should be grateful to have a seat in the first place. However, let's be clear. Although gratitude feels warm and fuzzy, it's not a form of currency. But I do have an announcement, and that is that your girl is getting her own NBC late night show!
I'm excited too. Don't think for a second I'm not. Truly, I mean that. Next, it's buzzwords time. You know, the words that celebrities and politicians use that don't have any meaning but are there to make them sound morally good or superior, just in case the audience had any doubt.
It's called A Little Late with Lilly Singh.
Oh, come
I
on.
know.
When does it premiere? Do we know?
So fallish, probably September.
Wow.
And I'm so excited because I truly get to create a show from scratch. You know, I get to make it inclusive, I get to create comedy segments and interview people and really create something that I believe in, and I'm so honored and humbled.
It's nice to hear all the original and specific things she wants the show to be. The buzzword inclusive is one of my all-time favorites. The level of specificity is off the charts. In fact, given all these details, it's hard to grasp why the show didn't work out, unless it had to do with Singh's mindset somehow.
So, to say the budget was small, the writing staff even smaller, and to do the first season, I had to shoot 96 episodes of late night television in 3 months. Who was right? To put that into perspective, that is shooting 2 to 3 episodes a day. Words cannot explain to you how exhausting, emotionally and spiritually challenging that was.
It's so strange how the audience reacted in the same way. I mean, it's not like they knew when to gasp. I guess it's one of those strange coincidences. There's nothing more reliable than a TED Talk. Just ask Elizabeth Holmes.
We've made it possible to run comprehensive laboratory tests from a tiny sample.
What we see here is another aspect of entitlement, the need the speaker has to persuade other people that life is especially tough for them and that they have to work exceptionally hard, even though the numbers Singh mentions are questionable at best and also inconsequential, as many people put in way more hours in other lines of work. She refers to the staff as small. In another interview with Fallon, she made the staff sound huge.
And there's also just so many people that work on the show.
Yeah, you're used to 5 people, now it's...
Every day someone comes up to me and goes, I'm your script chauffeur. Like, I don't know, any job title they make up. Wait, there's literally 100 people working on my show.
But apparently, self-pity is a better selling point according to Singh.
So, to say the budget was small, the writing staff even smaller.
She says she's humbled.
And I'm so honored and humbled.
Which, ironically, considering the clips we've seen and are about to see, sounds like it should have been a joke in the show.
November 19th is also International Toilet Day. Now, I'm not saying men are toilets, but...
So it's gonna be me, then Seth Meyers, and then you.
Yeah!
You're in the NBC late night family.
I mean...
That's good stuff.
Y'all, can I just say...
Singh must have felt so excluded by Fallon's words here. I mean, this totally sounds like the old boys club she complains about.
Like the time I pointed out the gender gap in the Forbes list for online creators, a list I'd previously been on. I remember wanting to start a critical conversation because I saw this article and I was heartbroken. You know, the digital space had always been a place that I thought was without gatekeepers, and here it was looking just like old Hollywood.
Aside from the unreliable claim to want to start a critical conversation, as if her motives were anything other than self-serving, the preface to her complaint is very revealing, exposing her lack of self-awareness.
I remember thinking, oh, I'm gonna talk at this table, I'm gonna join the dinner conversation. You know, a lot of my male mentors make comments and posts about box office numbers and salaries and titles and those dollar bills. So I thought, I'd chime in here. I learned very quickly that whenever I spoke of money, people got a little uncomfortable. Like the time I pointed out the gender gap.
People didn't react to her talking about numbers. They reacted to the absurdity in pointing out a gap when it comes to what entertainment people freely choose to watch or not watch. Bitterness is at the root of entitlement. Bitterness about people not reacting to her as she wanted them to react to her. Singh thought her background story made her amazing.
And I'm on stage in India announcing my first world tour. As fate would have it, the day after this monumental milestone, I was set to fly to Punjab, India, to visit my grandfather for the first time in my adult life. He said that I had done what no one else could have done, and I made history with my late-night show, A Little Late with Lilly Singh.
But as she found out, it's not a substitute for talent.
That's a good block. That's a good block right there.
Can I just say, I gotta just say, a huge shout out to all the women who have been before me and are currently in the space, because I couldn't have done it without them paving the path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Truly, I couldn't have.
So the path was paved. So there wasn't so much history about it after all.
I made history.
I'm sure they did it all on their own too. I mean, it's not like bosses and executives were involved. It's almost as if the industry is already inclusive, and it all comes down to personality, whose personality audiences can stand. But that would obviate the victim narrative, and we can't have that. Victim narratives are needed to avoid accountability and get privileges.
I totally agree.
But I do think it's a little awesome for Indian-Canadian woman also to be able to show.
Come on, man, breaking records.
So I'm super honored and humbled.
Still, not a word about her talents or what she wants to do specifically. The audience is supposed to be amazed simply because she is who she is. Singh shows that she can moderate her behavior though. Here she says little awesome, which I guess makes her sound somewhat modest. The TED Talk, where she emphasized her background story to the nth degree, shows that we can't necessarily trust this modesty.
Now in 2010, I noticed that no one on YouTube looked like me. There was no me in front of a camera. I was in the car, driving to his house. He was standing outside. I nervously got out of the car, walked up to him, he walked up to me, he looked me right in the eyes, and he raised his hand and decorated me with a flower garland. A gesture fit for people of importance.
Are you going to have a desk?
I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I want a desk. I really don't know.
Do you want to try it out?
Okay. I'm down. Okay. All right.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
I love your energy. I love your energy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Congrats on your success.
Hello, my friend. Congrats on your success.
Something tells me that Singh wants a desk, but not for the reasons that Fallon thinks. The entire point of her TED Talk, which is called A Seat at the Table, is that there aren't any tables that suit her uniqueness. So,
And you know, the strange thing about having a wobbly seat is that you spend so much time trying to keep it upright that you can never bring your full self to the table. Trying to fix the seat won't fix the problem. Why? Because the table was never built for us in the first place. The solution? Build better tables.
My God, this is pretty. Oh, should I ask you some questions then?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. So we'll just switch. I'll flip this up.
there's nothing like spontaneous and unscripted moments.
So, do you have any advice for a new host asking for a friend? Do you have any advice for someone that might, be hosting?
My advice, don't get sick. No, I think my real advice is, and you already know this, that's why you're very successful, just be yourself. And you're fantastic as you. Everyone can smell if you're phony or not yourself, and don't be somebody else, be you, and that's why you're great.
Thank you so much.
There's a thin line between advice and misdirection. What does it help hosts to be themselves, whatever this overused platitude actually means? If the audience isn't with them, it all comes down to personality and relatability. Thus, the slogan, "Be you," can lead to disastrous outcomes. This doesn't mean you should fake it. It means that not every person is cut out for every industry. So if you have to fake it, you're in the wrong line of work. But how do you explain that to a person whose entitlement level is literally off the charts? It sounds like Singh's been taking classes from someone else. Someone who has even more specific slogans that enrich people's lives.
I mean, it's so interesting because we can look at you and think, what? Self-esteem issues? What are you talking about?
come on!
And when did your seed get planted in terms of knowing that this was a very important thing, that you need to embrace your uniqueness?
Yes.
And, create your own box?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my, how sweet is that? You've been reading the TIG.
That's right.
So, I think for me, it's...
I hope we all make time today to embrace our uniqueness. That is, if we're not too busy creating our own boxes.
Well, I just hope I am half of the host that you are.
Oh, you're going to be better than that.
I just hope I'm half of the clock dancer that you are. Oh, you're gonna be better than me. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Yes, I am. True humility is the best, especially because Singh appeals to honesty again.
Oh,
Of course, it's true. She wouldn't dream of saying anything that wasn't true, right? And it all ends with another unscripted, heartwarming moment that no one saw coming.
Actually, we have someone here that would like to wish you congratulations.
What, to the who now?
Yeah, because you're in the NBC Late Night family. Everyone, please welcome the host of Late Night with Seth Meyers. Seth Meyers!
Thank you.
It's very nice of you, Seth. Thank you for doing this. Lily, we're so happy for you. I want to take a photo. Now we're in the NBC family. There we go. Congratulations. Good luck. To many, many years. You're a host now. Yeah.
Once again, I can see why Singh must have felt excluded. A scene like this necessitates her complaints in the TED Talk. I mean, it's not like she literally had a seat at the table.
Because I just experienced one of the most notorious boys' clubs ever in late night television.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next time, where I promise to be a little less excited about the authenticity of talk shows and the hosts that make them great.